We are live.
Beautiful. We are live? Like
Yep,
currently at
we
this very
are
second?
live
Okay,
for the
I'm recording
first.
too.
Good, good. For the first episode of our podcast called Simply Geek.
We're just two
So
geeks,
just
being geeky.
just geeking out, dude. You know.
Mm,
So my name's Preston, and my co-host over there, that's Ewan,
I'm Ewan.
like a incredible man with a deep voice. You
That's
know,
me. I sound like
this
a
incredible
50-year
man.
old black man.
That's a way to put it.
Yup.
So on this podcast, we'll just be talking about kind of just gaming news that's
Mm-hmm.
going on, some hot takes, um, just kind of nerdy news and geeky news in general.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess the first thing we're gonna talk about today is do you really own your games? Because that's a big deal right now. And
Next question.
next, and the sad fact is you don't.
No, you don't. Especially
You
with all the new policies going on with online games. That's like a big thing in the media recently. Is that even when you buy a game, even physically, you don't really own it.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, the sad part is that you don't own your games at all. Thank you for letting me know, Alpha. I'm sorry. We're also recording this live. I do know I have a little bit of popping, but we're probably gonna edit that, so it'll be okay.
Mm. Nothing a little bit of post processing can't fix.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna get a new mic eventually.
Mm.
But yeah, with all the crazy new stipulations going on, you can pay $70 for a game, and they can just take it away from you at any time, anytime they desire. I know there
Mm-hmm.
was I'm trying to remember the name of the game. It was a new game that's coming out. There's a demo for it that leaked early. Um, and the demo leaked, I think, like 2 weeks ago, and people were able to download it for about 2 hours. And then Sony went into everybody's account and removed it.
Mm-hmm.
Let me try to. It's something Blade. Um, what is that game? Doesn't matter what the game is.
Mm.
Really, at the
Doesn't
end of the day,
matter.
it doesn't matter.
But they have the ability to delete games off of it, off of your
Yes.
own device, and that alone is crazy. There was an Ubisoft developer, I don't remember who, but he said that people should not get used to owning their games,
Oh my god. Yeah, I remember that. Which is
and
absurd to say.
which is absolutely absurd because I spend close to $100 on a video game, even over that if it's collector's edition, you know.
Yeah.
And I
Oh, it was
want
Stellar Blade. That was the name of the game of that demo.
Stellar Blade,
Yep, that was it.
and so like I want the thing I spent $100 on. I want it to be mine.
Of course you
Hmm?
do. I mean, it's $100. Why? Why are we essentially giving these companies just money for them to give us a borrowed time for the
Mm-hmm.
game? That's absurd.
It is like it's silly. It is wacky. So my go-to, you know, way around that, bit of a controversial take. Like for example, my favorite game ever is Breath of the Wild. As I'm sure you know, Preston. You've watched me beat that
Yes,
game a few times. Um,
multiple times.
and whenever Tears of the Kingdom was coming out, it was $70. And being a broke little teenage boy that I am, I did not want to spend $70 on a game I'd put only 100 or so hours into. So I do what any rational person would do and pirate it.
Whoa, hey.
I mean, legally own it.
Yeah, that's our next topic we're gonna kind of get into is
Mm-hmm.
piracy. But it's just kind of it's really scummy that these companies are essentially just letting us borrow the license of these games, even if
Mm-hmm.
you own the game physically. That's my huge
Yeah.
issue. Was that all these games need to be online, and most of the games that need to be
Mm-hmm.
online, like it's ridiculous. Like Forza, for instance, they've took Xbox took a few of those down recently because the licensing have run out for the car deals and the music rights.
Mm-hmm.
So if you like there's no way to get that game anymore. Like they took it down from the store. If you don't have it in their library already, or if you don't own a copy of it, there's no way to get it. That's another
Yeah.
reason why it's just so dumb that like there's no way to preserve these games.
Mm. And
They're
with
just lost in time.
there's also a large like landscape change in buying games because even if you buy a physical disc or any physical medium of a game, you still have to get the game and download it on your console. So the point it's more so on the console than just in the disc, with especially
An
with how
example.
big games are getting.
An example of that is Call of Duty. Literally
Mm-hmm.
has 100 megabytes on the physical copy. A
Mm-hmm.
hundred megs. You have to install well over 100 gigs.
Yeah, that's so stupid.
It's
The
literally a
business
game.
model of having like, especially Activision, they suck at doing this. It's just like we have one game, but we have several different games within it that you have to buy individually. Like Warzone is free, but you have to buy like Modern Warfare 3, which is trash for $70. It's just Modern
Yes.
Warfare 2 with plus one. Modern Warfare 2 was still better, in my opinion. But like it's like zombies and all that kind of stuff. Like with Cold War, like that game was insanely big, and I just
Yes.
recently deleted it, and it freed up more than half of my disk drive.
It's a large like
Mm,
it's just annoying that you can't download these things separately. Like,
mm,
I mean, they've updated to the point where you can, but like the fact that I have to download Warzone if I have Call of Duty installed is asinine. It makes no
mm,
sense. Um, one of the viewers said games are gonna have to go back to cartridge and for hot swappable hard drives. Which I mean, yeah,
mm,
th- it's just ridiculous. I guess one good example of a game that actually is mainly on the physical copy is the new Final Fantasy remake.
mm.
That is
One thing that
mainly
Nintendo does good.
that is one thing. Yes,
Mm,
Nintendo. I think if anything, there's a few megabytes you have to install,
mm.
if that.
And Tears of the Kingdom was only like, let me check.
Tears of the Kingdom is very small.
Oh,
I can pull up my copy here if I can grab it. Maybe it says on the back here.
oh, I was just gonna look at
Um, the
the
file
file
size.
size. Yeah,
Oh, I actually don't have my Switch out here, so I can't. But
I'll do that.
yeah, Nintendo is awesome about compressing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really close to this camera here right now.
Yeah, just get all up close and personal with
Yeah,
the
just
audience.
hello, guys. Hello.
Do you prefer this?
Yeah. um, that's not going to fit well for audio listeners.
Oh yeah, no. It
It'll be
is.
fine.
It's only I think 17 gigs in total.
And that game is large.
Mm-hmm.
That's a large, like, it's a huge open world game. Yes, it's not graphically demanding. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is 145 gigs, and it's mainly on the discs.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing Baldur's Gate for Xbox will be 4 discs physically, 4 discs.
That game is absurdly massive, though.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain it was 3 or 4 discs, but I mean, you have other games where it's like, why? Why don't you put in the effort
Mm-hmm.
for your consumers to like actually just put it on this, save them space, man. Like, I
Yeah.
know most people are digital age, which I can appreciate that. I mean, I have quite the digital library myself,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just like, man, I love a game that I'm super excited about buying a physical copy of it, but knowing that one, I might not really own it, and two, it's eating up my hard drive. Just kills
Yep.
me.
Whenever I remember we got Pokemon, the new Pokemon games, at the
Mhm.
midnight release,
Yeah.
and that was the first time I was like really excited to buy a physical game. Um, and I got home, I popped it in, and I still had to install it slightly. It only took like 15 minutes,
Yeah.
but I'm like, it kind of like ruins the magic a little bit of just being able to put in the game and playing it immediately.
I miss those days, man.
Mm.
I
Me
miss
too.
like the 360 PS3 era of just getting a game and going home and able to insert the disc. Those days are done.
Mm-hmm.
Like now you have to. depending on your internet speed, you're gonna have
Wait
to
up,
wait like a long
yeah,
time.
up to like a few hours of
Yeah,
just
depending like
nothing.
and it's ridiculous. It's like
Hmm.
the days of plug and play are done.
I
Unless you're Nintendo. Like Nintendo is pretty good about not having anything crazy, but
mhm,
most games you have to wait for installing and I mean thank God for SSDs, but
yeah.
still, it's still way the process is dumb.
Yeah,
And I feel like gaming
back in the day, I when I had a 3DS, oh boy, every time I got a new game for Christmas, yeah, I'm young.
back
You
in your
need to
day,
remember that.
back in your day.
I had a 3DS longer than I had a DS, so I'm young.
Speaking of the 3DS, it came out 13 years ago today.
Today?
Today, yes, today. It's the
Perfect timing.
13th. Yes.
Hmm. I remember getting my 3DS and getting games I got with it for Christmas at my aunt's house. I went over to the corner, I popped in the game, and it loaded up immediately. Most of the time it was Pokemon.
Yeah,
And just
back when Pokemon was good.
or as one of the only good remakes they've done.
Yeah. I
I'm a new Pokemon game though.
what 2025 or 2026?
2025, I think.
Yeah, I thought so.
ZA.
Yeah, which is such a weird name.
Yeah,
Like
I mean it's like X and Y,
I
and
I get
it's
what they're doing. Like
yeah.
I can put 4 and 5 together.
Mm. And the
But
character in it was named as, so it's like ZA, and I don't care
it's
about the
dumb.
lore of X and Y because it was a bad game.
But the area was kind of cool.
Mm. I loved the Lumio City,
I
so I'm
just
glad that's the area.
I've been thinking about buying. I mean, I had one in the past, but I'm thinking about just getting a regular 2DS. The piece of toast,
Mm-hmm. I had
and
one.
just putting the H shop on there because, like
Mm.
we were saying earlier, you can't get certain things anymore because they can just rip
Yeah.
everything away from you. And Nintendo last year, it's been 6, 7 months now since they turned off the eShop
Yeah.
on the Switch on the no on the 3DS and Wii U. And yeah, rip and Pete, just rip, dude.
Rip.
Um, and now the only way you can get those games is if you pirate them or
Mm-hmm.
pay ridiculous third party prices for some of the games. Like some of the Pokemon games used, which are years upon years old now,
Mm-hmm.
are
Mm-hmm.
selling the same price retail, if not newer.
Yeah.
And the average American person can't afford that.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's just stupid. Like why are these companies okay with just letting things go to waste?
Yeah.
Like I understand moving on from a console. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
You have to do it. It's progress. You have to move on. But just to erase it from history and not make it available anymore?
Yeah. They're just completely like getting so many of these things. Like lost media is a pretty big topic on the internet nowadays. And there's definitely going to be a lot of like lost media in the form of video games, especially
Yeah.
with all like the indie developers and stuff that managed to get their things on like the 3DS and like Wii U and that kind of stuff. So there's definitely going to be like games that nobody will be able to play anymore.
Alpha again said fun fact, there's games on Steam that you games that you cannot buy anymore. They just took them off the shop. Like
Hmm.
they're in his library, but you can no longer purchase them. And that's it's just a shame.
Hmm.
Adult Swim is going through the same thing right now. Warner Brothers and Adult Swim are fighting it out because Warner Brothers just like we're gonna pull your games from Steam and we won't let you publish them on your own. Like we're just gonna pull them off. And I'm pretty
Stupid.
sure it's the vast majority of their games. It's sad.
Really?
It's the vast
Dude.
majority of Adult Swim games are going to be off Steam. So, if there's anything you want, you should probably buy it because I think in the next week or two it's going to be gone. So, like Duck Game, literally one of Adult Swim's best games is gonna be gone.
Duck Game?
Duck Game.
Dude,
Duck
that's
Game
gonna
is so
be a big loss. That's one of the most
it is.
fun party games.
It's so dumb. And like
It's so stupid. There's a button to
Warner Brothers,
quack.
yeah, dude, he's like spam quack, dude.
Quack, quack. Love it.
So I guess we can move on to the next topic though.
Mm.
Piracy. Um,
Yeah, perfect.
it's a gray area.
Mm-hmm.
For certain
Especially,
things.
yeah, for certain things like the lost media, like I said, like things that are no longer going to be available, or things that already are no longer available for purchase. That is a gray
Yeah,
area because, like, I'm not going to be able to play this game unless I pirate it.
exactly. Like
Mm.
there. See, for me, I guess I mean, here we go. Nintendo ninjas are gonna come after and get me. Bet, dude.
Mm.
But I do have a good amount of ROMs. Do I own all the games that I have copies of? No.
Yeah.
There's a few I do, but no. Um, but that's the only way. Let me rephrase. It's the only easy way of getting the game. You can, if you have the means and of getting them and wanting to spend the money, you can get things that rip the file and
Hmm.
put it on your computer. You can do that. There's not really easy ways of doing it. It's actually difficult. There's ways of doing it.
Yeah.
It's just, it's so much easier for me to look up Super Mario Sunshine ROM, go to archive.org, and push download. Watch out for
Hmm.
the big download buttons,
Yeah. Big green download here. Click allow.
and watch out for the local hot moms in your area ads.
Did I
But
tell you I fell for one of those for like the download here buttons?
no, no, you did not.
So I was having a night. I'm like, man, do you know what game I really want to play? It was some Switch game, I'm sure.
Mhm.
Um, and then I look for the ROM, and I go to it. I'm like, oh, I know what I'm doing. I've done this hundreds of times at this point. I go to the thing. I click on it. Download here. Click. And
It's
luckily for
probably the
me,
big old
yeah, the big
green.
green thing with a white arrow pointing down.
Yes, yes.
Mm-hmm. And then I did it. I'm like, oh wait, I should probably not open that file. So I found it, found everything else that spawned from it before it did anything to my computer, and then just I saved it luckily. But I'm
That's
like,
good.
second time as well. That was the second time I've installed not good software.
That's rough. I've almost done it a couple of times,
Mm.
but it's there's like I said, there's ways of legally doing it, but even then, Nintendo still considers you ripping your own games to be illegal.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not, but Nintendo considers it. And Yuzu, a
A
big
big one.
a big Switch emulator, about 2 weeks ago now,
Mm.
ceased. Um, they got in trouble by Nintendo because they were idiots and had a Patreon and accepting money.
Yeah,
See, if they were to done it for free, it would have been all fine and dandy. But it's just, it's so
they're
stupid. Which I understand when
yeah.
you get paid for your work. If, don't get me wrong. I can appreciate that's a lot of work you're putting into.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how much they were getting from their Patreon monthly?
How much?
I'm pretty sure it's 35,000 a month. I'm pretty sure that's what it was to pay their staff. 35,000 a month.
That's kind of crazy.
Yes, it
I'm
was
I'm
absurd.
yeah. I'm a Ryujinx boy, so
I mean, as you know, I am too because you said it for
mm,
your jinx for me.
I yeah.
But
I've
I
been over
just,
there a good few times.
yeah, it's just, it's
Yeah.
sad. Which I mean, I understand Nintendo with the Switch emulator. I can
Mm-hmm.
appreciate that it's their current system. I I get it. You
Mm-hmm.
don't want
Mm-hmm.
to this potential sales you're losing. Which with Tears of the Kingdom, it was probably a good amount of sales they lost. Let's be
Yeah.
honest here. It was because the emulator ran it better than the Switch itself.
Yep. Especially when it first came out.
It ran it better.
Hmm.
So like, why wouldn't somebody want to download that? Like they want the best way they can play their game.
Except for my PC. Mine ran at like 20 frames a second, if that.
Oof.
I think
But
I beat the game at 10 frames a second.
oh,
I didn't get it up to 60 until I was done with like everything.
that's rough. There is another big thing that's getting brought up is Power World and
Oh yeah.
the Pokemon Company, and I can see the similarities.
Hmm.
There are very clear similarities that are parody. It's
Nothing
very
is stolen though.
parody-esque. Nothing is, but my thing is, so Nintendo has a big issue with Power World, but what about Temtem?
Yeah, what about all the other Pokemon clones?
Yes, and what about the ones who blatantly rip off? Like, I don't know about you, but I always see these dumb ads for these
Especially mobile game ads.
Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yes, rip off Pokemon mobile
Mm.
games. Why is
Was that
Nintendo
one
not
like
going after
horror
those?
type one Pokemon game that wasn't even real?
I honestly don't think I know what you're talking about.
Dude, it was like a really dark advertisement where it was like a Pokemon type style. Like
Okay.
yeah, let me see if I can recall it properly. If anybody knows what I'm talking about, feel free to put it in chat. But it was like I got these ads like constantly, like maybe a few times a day. Where it was like this Pokemon type art style, pixel art, like first gen type stuff.
Hmm.
And it'd be like in Professor Oak's like lab, where it's like you can hear screams coming in from within inside, and like Pokemon were being tortured and stuff.
Oh,
Oh yeah, no, super dark stuff.
that's
And
really messed up.
that was just on YouTube ads. And the game
On
wasn't anything like
YouTube
that.
ads?
Yeah. Like YouTube just let those go through. And like there's been so many like it was just a knockoff Pokemon game as well.
Yeah.
I don't even think it was like a horror game. But like there's so many like knockoffs out there, and Pal World is just, in my opinion, it is just a hodgepodge of different games combined into a pretty fun from what I've seen. Pal World.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just Pal World.
literally like 4 or 5 popular games
Hmm.
just putting it to a blender and spewing it all out.
Yeah, there's
And
Ark,
Pokemon,
Pokemon,
Arc,
um,
kind of Fortnite-ish
kind of
in a way.
Fortnite-ish. A little bit of Breath of the Wild.
Hmm.
Just so many different things that are just
Yeah, it's all conglomerated together, and it works.
mm-hmm.
It works. It's just Nintendo's mad because it's successful.
Like they
And
made a lot of money.
oh yeah,
Good for them.
it's
I mean, like
still
making their
yeah.
bag.
I mean, it's still one of the more popular games right now on Steam. It's still one
Mm-hmm.
of the top rated games. And Game Pass, good luck trying to get onto the game to get it into a server because it still has some server issues trying
Mm-hmm.
to get in there. And it's just crazy that because something successful that's kind of like what you're doing, that Nintendo,
Mm-hmm.
gets all upset because it's like, oh, that's money we could be making. But you're not
Yeah.
because you don't have. I love Pokemon, okay? I love Pokemon, but they
Mm-hmm.
are really lazy. The
Yep.
Pokemon Company is really lazy. Game Freak they need to do something
Yep.
because
Sword and Shield was like it was the sign of the end times.
uh, yeah, Sword and Shield they were very rough,
Mm.
and they need to take some time off. They're taking 2024 off, and I hope this next game is actually good, what we deserve.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost as if they were not ready to make the jump from the 3DS to the Switch.
Yeah. I mean, Sword and Shield was made for the 3DS.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
That's pretty
and they just
obvious with the way the map is made and how the
mhm,
big open areas are only like few and far in between because it's supposed to be used on that little nub on the 3DS XL. Do you remember the nub?
yes. God, that thing
I played
was not
Xenoblade
comfortable to
on
use.
that.
how. Because like you literally, it felt so uncomfortable to move.
It did. It was like it's literally just like a little rubber nub. Like you,
Dude,
and you can barely
don't-
move it around.
that's gonna get clipped.
Like you can barely like it doesn't move at all. It just knows which direction you're pushing it, and it's so uncomfortable
Yeah.
because your finger slides off of it.
Well, the attachment I wish they would have, made part of the system is there was an attachment you could put onto the 3DS that literally gave you another analog
Mm-hmm.
stick. I
Yeah.
had one. And like you literally just put it on. It made the 3DS a little bit larger because it was only when the original 3DS was out, not the XL.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I remember playing Kingdom Hearts on it, and it used that extra thumbstick, and it was the greatest experience ever.
The circle pad though,
Yeah,
kind of loved the circle pad.
moments. I hated how cheap the rubber on it was.
Yeah, mine were. You could tell they were cheap by the end of my DS's lifespan.
Yeah,
All of
when
them
you
died a
replace.
tragic death.
Oh
I
no!
crushed two of them by complete accident.
Oh no!
My 2DS, dude. My 2DS. I was playing some video games back when I was like, I'm gonna say 13-ish.
Mhm.
And my 2DS was underneath a blanket on my bed, just like a little throwover. And I was holding my Xbox controller. I got mad. I'm like, oh, I want to hit something. I want to hit something, but I don't want to break anything. So I'm gonna hit this blanket next to me.
No,
And then I hit the
no!
blanket as hard as I could. And I just hear, and I'm like, and then I like slow motion. I lift up the cover, and I just see my 2DS, and the screen weren't broken because it's plastic.
Mhm.
But I go to turn it on, and the screen is just completely dead. There's like 2 pixels that worked,
Ooh.
and I lost it.
Just informed that the power of player count went down significantly.
Oh yeah, it did.
It was at 300,000. Now it's barely at 30.
Mm. The game doesn't have that much content in it, sadly.
Yeah, well, it's also in beta. It's
Mm.
still so.
The
I
developers
don't.
are going to add more stuff, which I know people will come
I'm
back for.
I'm sure. I don't like this way of doing things now.
Mm.
Just the way of, yeah, we're gonna do an open beta that you pay for, and then we'll give you the rest of the content eventually when we decide to do it.
Hmm.
In some
That is
games,
one.
it's
Yeah.
years. Some games, it's literally years people are waiting.
Tears of the Kingdom, it was just they got it out in working condition barely, like
Hmm.
barely, and then they updated it while people played. They used like the players like they were glitch hunters and like beta testers, and they fixed everything as people were finding it. So like a lot of the most iconic glitches in Tears of the Kingdom no longer work because Nintendo is patching it because all the speedrunners are like new duplication glitch, like, and then Nintendo's like, nope, fix that.
It's just, it's lazy, man. And
Hmm.
I get, I get from a business perspective. Yes, you need to pump out these games by a
Hmm.
certain time, but the only company I can think of that is more than willing to push back a title if necessary is Nintendo.
Scarlet and Violet,
Um, I
Pokemon
mean,
Company.
they push back Tears of the Kingdom. That's more of a Game
Mhm.
Freak Pokemon company.
Yeah.
It really is.
Mm.
That's more of their decision than it is Nintendo.
Yeah.
Like I think
Most
Nintendo owns
Nintendo
half.
games. Yeah.
Like Nintendo, I believe owns half of the Pokemon company.
Yeah.
But Game Freak still is the one in control for the most part.
Mm.
Yeah, Baldur's Gate 3 got pushed back for years.
Yep. And look
Uh,
how beautiful it is. Game of the
it was
year.
well worth the wait.
It
I
made one of the
understand
best gaming experiences ever.
one of the best narrative
Mhm.
experiences ever.
I genuinely love the characters in Baldur's Gate. I've watched at least 5 videos talking about character analysis.
Yeah,
Phenomenal.
and then Alpha also was like, they're not even making DLC for Baldur's Gate 3. They just dropped that baby and said we're making a new one. I mean,
Yeah.
you're not wrong. But I mean, it would be cool. Would that be cool if Baldur's Gate 3 got DLC? Yes.
Mhm.
But does it need it?
No.
No. That's how I kind of feel with a lot of games. A lot of games
Mhm.
don't need the DLC. Like, uh, Elden Ring, does it need DLC? No. But it's getting it, and
And
the
I'm
DLC
hyped.
is huge. Oh, I know you are. But I'm glad the way the trends of DLC has changed. It
Mhm.
used to be, gosh, I hate just thinking about it. The way that they used to take part of the game away that was completed, ready for the main part of the game, took it out of the game, made you wait a month or two for it to pay for a season pass DLC to give you the rest of the game.
Mhm.
Or it was Assassin's Creed, I think. I forget which one. But there was one where you had to pay $7, $7 or $10 to get the end of the game. This was during like the PS3 360 era, towards the end
Oh.
of it. It was
Um.
very, very common when companies would do this. And God, the first Destiny did this as well.
Yeah, I
There
remember
was
that.
the first two expansions that they announced the same time the game it was announced that should have been part of the game because the game
Mhm.
was incomplete without them. It's so frustrating when that happened.
Yeah, I played Destiny when I was whenever it came out, and I remember I didn't have the funds to get any DLC whatsoever for any game.
Mhm.
Um, and so there was like a level cap if you didn't get the DLC.
Yeah.
And so like I played through all of the game, but yet I was still like I had good equipment. I was happy with my build. I'm like, oh, I'm max level. But yet there's people who just spent money that were better than me,
Yeah.
and I'm like, that's not very awesome.
Pay to win situation. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Alpha was saying how the last Bioshock game, so that was Bioshock Infinite. God, it's been forever ago. But that game, its true ending was locked behind a DLC paywall.
Mm-hmm.
I, that was the most frustrating thing ever. I'm pretty sure. I think Watch Dogs did something similar, the first one,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
and I went to I went to the midnight release for Watch Dogs. I went to that midnight release. My I remember I was so hyped for that game,
I was too, to be fair.
and I remember I helped my dad do a bunch of yard work in one weekend, and my dad was like, "I'll let you get whatever it is you want," and I was like, "I really want this game." He's like, "Okay." He's like, "But I really want the deluxe edition."
The deluxe
So,
edition.
like, I want the deluxe edition. So I remember getting it and going to the midnight release and bringing it home and playing it. And I was like, this, it was cool. But I was like,
Mm-hmm.
this is so different than what was shown at that E3 that year.
Yep.
Because that
I
is
remember.
scaled back tremendously.
Yeah. I played a lot of Watch Dogs as a kid. I remember me and Jonah, me
Mhm.
and him used to actually play multiplayer together. Like those little stupid
I
multiplayer game
forgot
modes.
that game had multiplayer.
Mm-hmm. They
I
just threw that
completely
in there.
forgot about that. And it was weird multiplayer too.
It was.
You had
And
to
they had
find
like
a
open
hacker.
world free running, like free roaming and stuff, and like you can invade friends' areas and it was a working multiplayer, I will say. But that game, like, there was a lot of DLC stuff that was just like it felt like it shouldn't have been DLC. Like
Yeah,
it
that should
was
have been
just added
put into the
side
game.
quests
Yes.
that did nothing. Like
I just
there was a few like weapons that were just gold. Like not better weapons, but they just had gold plating that you could get for DLC.
yeah, and I'm pretty sure they were like a small, like a quick, maybe five, one to $5 range. Probably was like, oh, you
Mm-hmm.
can get this cool gold plate for like $5, and people are like, oh, spin, spin, spin.
Me,
That
I did that.
tracks.
I
To
did
be
that.
fair, I'm pretty bad at Fortnite microtransactions.
Yeah, I said I was gonna cut back on them. and then I immediately bought
Yeah.
Eminem.
Yeah, I remember you doing that. I I used to crap on that game so hard because it like the
Hmm.
building. But the fact that they took no build into consideration, yeah, that game has such good gunplay, and I
It does.
part of me hates that it has such good gunplay.
It's
Part of me
Fortnite.
hates it. I know. I hate to say that I play Fortnite. I hate saying that. I
And yet
really
I
do.
always am just like, heck yeah, Fortnite.
Yeah, I'm like, God, I'm one of those guys now. I used to be an Apex guy.
Mm. Me too, me too. I went from being a Fortnite kid to an Apex sweaty teen back to a Fortnite guy.
Yeah, like it's because
Mm.
Apex doesn't have anything compelling.
No.
They had that
It's
Final
just
Fantasy
Apex.
thing that was kind of cool for a while.
That was stupid. I played a few games.
Was it really dumb?
Buster Sword broken. Yep. You can just
Oh,
rush down people and
of
kill them.
course, Buster Sword's broken. Like,
It's the Buster Sword, so.
yeah, it's the Buster. What do you expect? Like, but I remember when Fortnite first came out, dude. I played it for a bit, and I was like, dude, this is dog water.
Mm.
This is dog water.
I was like 11 when Fortnite first came out.
Oh,
And,
no, you weren't.
something like
Stop.
that. How old is Fortnite?
It's
7,
like
8 years old?
it's going on 8, 9 years old. Yeah.
Yeah, I was 10 or 11.
Oh,
I'm gonna say 11 because the people I played it with whenever it first came out. We won our second game ever,
yeah.
and this was back when the lobby was just gray, and there was
The
no
great.
skins, no skins, no nothing.
Yeah.
We dropped at the toilet factory every time.
No.
Those are for the OG Fortnite players watching.
Toilet factory.
Hmm. But back then, the only time people would ever build is just put down a single wall, maybe a ramp if you were fancy, and then
And now
just
people are just like
cover behind it.
spamming and just making these crazy
And
contraptions.
just,
I hate the building.
I built a mansion.
Literally that. For audio listeners, he was picking up a controller and just smashing buttons, as you can hear. Um, but Alpha
Button
again.
says smart.
After you leave Apex Sweat, you're like instantly amazing at Fortnite because of how slow
Mhm.
it is in comparison.
Oh yeah, like I cannot tell you how easy Fortnite got after playing like actual shooters.
Yeah,
Like going from Valorant to Fortnite Zero build was hilarious to me.
I I wish Apex was good again. Like
Hmm.
I bought uh I bought the Lifeline edition physically for Apex.
Hmm.
So I have a physical copy of Apex.
That is to me that's crazy.
What, that I own a physical copy of Apex?
Hmm. That you would get a physical copy of a game that is free and downloadable.
Yeah, I got it because it was way cheap, and at the time I made Lifeline,
Hmm.
and it was cheaper to get it this way than it was to buy the digital version with the skin and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
It was only $5 instead of spending $25.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, and Alpha, I too kind of play Helldivers, not as much as I like, but yeah, Helldivers is a good time. I I just wish it was more. I don't know. I wish it was on other platforms as well. I mean, yes, it's on
Mm,
PlayStation and PC, but it would be really cool if somebody was like, you know what, we want more money. Let's put it on Xbox. Because
yeah.
I mean, they put MLB The Show on Xbox, and that's a PlayStation published game.
My my problem with Helldivers, it feels like a seasonal game to me. I feel like Helldivers is going to be one of those games, kind of like Pal World, where it's like the hype for like a few months. And then it just slowly gets less and less players, and all my friends who are currently playing it, in like a month or two, they're not going to want to play it.
I could see that. I just feel like
Because
the hype
that's
of
happened a lot.
Helldivers has been Yeah, I have friends who like will be like, "Oh yeah, get this game," and then as soon as I do, they stop playing it.
Yep. That's my
I'm like,
entire
well,
career of being online.
it's like, well, this is why I, for the most part, just play single player game.
Why do you think I have 2,000 hours in Breath of the Wild?
Because you're a mad lad.
No, because my other friends were playing games I didn't want to play.
I can respect that. I I don't know. I wish games. I hate the way the gaming industry is now, where it's like
Mhm.
something is like a really hot fad, and then it's literally hot for like a week, and
Mhm.
then the next thing comes out.
People's attention span when it comes to almost everything, like new game comes out, it's gonna be popular for a little bit, then it's gonna die off slowly. Pal World, probably
Mhm.
Helldivers, all that type of game.
Yep.
Like, and then Spider-Man 2, when like I haven't heard anything about that game like a month after it came out.
No, literally, like it's just weird how that is now.
Mm.
Like there used to be games where people would keep talking about. Like Elden
Mm-hmm.
Ring was one of those games that everybody kept talking about,
Mm-hmm.
like months after release. And then you have Spider-Man, which was a fantastic game,
Beautiful, love it.
and people talked about it for like a month, and
Mm-hmm.
that's it. God of War Ragnarok, another pretty good game. Nobody talked about
Boy,
after like a month.
yeah.
It's just weird that like how almost oversaturated feeling sometimes the gaming industry
Mm-hmm.
is. I
Yeah,
say that in this
oversaturated
year,
is a pretty good word.
but
Although this year
this
we
year
don't get
there's
much.
nothing.
Yep.
There's just nothing this year.
There are so many games to play that it feels like the game you are playing isn't the best game you could be playing.
Yeah,
If that makes any sense. It feels like it's very hard to be satisfied with what you have at this point.
it is because I mean, a lot of people have FOMO
Mm.
and they want to be part of whatever's new, and by the time they get whatever's new, it's now old.
Yeah.
Uh, Alpha again, bringing up Baldur's Gate 3 was the big, another big one.
Mm-hmm.
How people kept talking about Baldur's Gate for a while, and it feels like those games, like they're so few and far in between that I feel like when it comes to the big games of the year, you think about the one that was talked about the most.
Mm-hmm.
Like this past uh game of the year show, I played. What were the nominees? Oh,
Spider-Man 2,
Tears of the
Elden
Kingdom,
Ring, Tears of the Kingdom.
Alan
Oh,
Wake.
yeah. There was
I was
one
like,
more I don't remember.
I think the only I played the majority of them, but it's like it felt like it was this year felt like it wasn't very one sided. Most of the time, it feels like it's one sided.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think I don't know. I I hate I kind of hate the Game Awards
Who doesn't?
because honestly, if you just want to do a cool award show, do that. But no one watches it for the awards because nobody cares about the awards anymore.
Yep.
People are just expecting huge announcements.
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody and their mother, like when they would do one year they announced a Mortal Kombat game at a Game Awards. I think it was Mortal
Crazy.
Kombat 11 they announced,
Mm.
and then Nintendo announcing Joker for Smash
Yeah, that was
at Game
hype.
Awards. That was really hype.
Crazy, you still can't play that game on Switch.
What game?
Persona 5.
Yes you can.
You can?
Yeah. Hold
Oh,
on.
never mind then. I know for a while Joker. Oh yeah, Persona 5 Royal. Forgot
Yeah.
about that. I know for a while there, Joker was just like the Persona, mascot, and you couldn't even play his Persona game on the Switch. I know that
Yeah,
was
you
the
couldn't
case
play
for a
Persona
while.
5, um, but you could play the Persona Q games
Mm-hmm.
on DS, and that's initially how. Because in order to be a Smash Brothers, you have to be on a Nintendo console.
Yeah.
I think that was Sakurai's rule.
Minecraft Steve.
Dude, that was pretty hype.
Dude, is it bad that Minecraft Steve was one of the 2 reasons I got Smash Bros?
Yes.
Do you know the other one?
Because Smash Bros?
No, Sora. Kingdom Hearts.
You
I didn't
waited.
get Smash Bros until after Sora came out.
Wait, what?
And that's not
Wait,
I'm not
wait.
even lying.
Wait. Get or get?
I own it physically.
Okay.
Hmm.
But you got it before that, right?
Yeah. No.
Okay. Are you saying this for Nintendo, or are you saying this for...
No, I did not have much interest in Smash Bros.
Okay. I just didn't know if you were trying to protect yourself from the
Oh,
ninjas.
no.
I
They
doubt
can't
they
get
are.
me. They haven't been able to track me down. We're good.
Not yet. In time.
Yeah.
In time.
In due time. After this
Yes.
podcast, definitely.
Yeah. After this goes live on our other platforms beyond Twitch, I'm sure Nintendo's gonna be knocking on my office door.
My
Like,
windows, I'm just gonna see
"Arr!"
a glare.
It's gonna be a guy just in a
Hmm.
Mario thick stash. It's like,
Pulls out
it's
a
a me,
switchblade.
a ninja, and then
Joy-Con switchblade.
dude, just you want to find out, kid?
You hear like the click sound effect from like their commercials as he clicks out.
That is beautiful. That's good.
Oh,
That's good. That's real good.
I need myself a Joy-Con switchblade now.
I'm pretty sure I've seen some.
Oh, I need one. It'd be so funny.
Let's see what else we have here. Um, Another topic of the handful of games that are coming out this year. What are some of the ones you're kind of looking forward to?
What is coming out this year? I'm not sure I know the list very well.
There's not a whole lot.
I
There's a
know
few
there's
games that
not.
are out right now that I'm moderately interested in getting.
Like what?
Um,
Like what?
Rebirth, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Hmm.
Um, I kind of want to get the Peach game. I
Of
know it's a baby
course.
game. It's a baby game. I
It's a
know.
girl game.
It's a girl game, and I like girl games.
Hmm. One thing I'm excited about is Sandland. That comes out later next month.
What's
A
that?
month from now. It's Akira Toriyama. Oh, seven,
Okay.
by the way.
Yep.
It's his creation. It's really just a cute Dragon Ball esque styled game.
Okay.
You can look it up, but it looks adorable, and it's just one of those games that I want to try.
What else? I mean, the Thousand Year Door remake.
Hmm.
I want to get that.
That's
Um,
that's a big one I want.
Luigi's Mansion 2
Hmm.
remake. It's sad that I'm looking forward to remakes.
Ooh, Thousand Year Door comes out day after my birthday.
Ooh,
That's sick.
maybe for your birthday if you're really nice. um, Pepper Grinder. That's a game I think it came out today or tomorrow. It's a Devolver Digital game, and
What is
it's
it called?
Pepper Grinder.
Pepper Grinder.
Yeah, it's literally you're a character with this drill,
Oh, I see. It
and
comes out tomorrow.
yeah, Pepper Grinder. Yeah, there's a
Mm.
demo for it right now. Download it. By the time this comes out, the game's already out. But
Yeah,
Devolver Digital, one of my
little indie
favorite
game.
publishers ever, because they're dumb.
Looks like a cute game.
Um, but I was gonna download the demo yesterday, but Steam was down for like a good hour or
Mm.
two because they're doing maintenance, I guess, and they do that on Tuesdays, which I did
Yeah.
not know about until yesterday.
I didn't even know they do maintenance. I barely use Steam.
Yeah, I went to go get on the Steam app on my phone, and Steam just wasn't working, and I was like,
Mm. Do you know what? I know it probably won't happen, but there is one game I am praying comes out this year.
Uh, Wind Waker and Twilight.
No, no, no.
HD.
Silk Song.
Oh, dude, that's gonna be a game that doesn't come out ever. I hate to say it. I hate to crush your dreams like that. The Silk Song, I just don't feel like that game's ever going to come out.
No, I have faith.
It's gonna be a Half-Life 3 situation, man.
I have faith. Faith. But the thing is that we've seen gameplay footage of it already,
We have,
and it
but
looks
when's the
beautiful.
last time we saw it?
A year ago,
Has it been a year or has it been longer?
a little bit longer,
Like 2 years?
a year and a half ish.
Yeah, going on 2 years. It's
Nah.
I if it does not come out this year, I will be
Hmm.
very surprised.
Yeah, I mean, it's Team Cherry. I just, I hope they don't try to make it too perfect.
I
That's because I have a slight feeling that team is going to be like, we need it to be as good as Hollow Knight. We need it to do better. We need it to be better than Hollow Knight. Because apparently their map is 3 times bigger than Hollow Knight's. Yeah.
That's insane.
You know how big Hollow Knight's map is?
Yes, it's already large. It's a
Hmm.
big map.
So I hope they don't try to. They're definitely They're definitely burnt out. Um, and I just, I just want it to be at least good. I don't want it to be perfect. I don't expect it to be perfect. I just want it to come out.
I just hope it's not one of those things where it's already going to be one of those things where people already have their expectations so high
Hmm.
for the game that it's not going to meet expectations.
Yep.
There has been a lot of companies that have been spoiled the past couple of years because of the gaming influx that we had.
Hmm.
Example, Nintendo,
Yep.
because they Tears of the Kingdom isn't performing like Breath of the Wild did. Is I mean, partially because the whole Yuzu situation,
Yeah.
but another part is because we're not in a pandemic anymore.
Hmm.
I mean,
There's not
yes,
as many
Breath of the Wild
people wanting to
released,
buy games.
yeah, and we're in a recession. Not to
Hmm.
get too political here,
Yeah.
but reality, we're in a recession,
That's
and
why I didn't buy.
people,
I mean, I totally bought Tears of the Kingdom.
yes, you did
$70 out of my pocket.
$140.
Yeah, you bought it twice, didn't you?
I bought it, the collector's edition and the regular edition, so $200 something. Um, but yeah, we're in a recession, so people are being more wise with their money and not being
Hmm.
all fun and dandy.
Yeah.
So these companies, that's why we're seeing all these major layoffs from these big companies.
They
Like,
have such high expectations of their own games, and whenever it inevitably doesn't live up to the hype, because
like
first of all,
fire everybody.
yeah, it's just like we didn't make enough money. You guys suck. No, it's just
It's
no.
like the team for the Suicide Squad. Okay,
Hmm.
okay. Rocksteady. Instead of them, instead of them looking at like, oh, people don't really care for live service. It's like, oh, it's because it
Hmm.
was the Suicide Squad. That's why it didn't do well.
Yeah. No,
No, you idiots!
the
It
game
didn't do well
itself,
because
I'll
live
say, is
service.
great. The game is great. The way that they updated it sucked. It should not be a live service game for, first of all, a story driven game.
No, no, not at all.
And second of all, I just want more Batman. I want to beat up people. I want to punch them and probably kill them. Because,
Well,
those games are brutal.
you know, Rocksteady just canceled a game recently, right? I'm pretty sure it was a Wonder Woman game that they canceled.
None of mine. Not a big
But no,
DC
no,
guy.
but it's just like another game that could have
Hmm.
potential because
and they just
apparently
canceled it.
single player games don't sell.
Nintendo. Anyway, sorry, I had a cough.
Literally, the biggest games in the past couple years are
Are single
single
player.
player games.
Primarily single player. Most of them
Yes,
have multiplayer, but that's not the key point
yeah,
of
they
it.
have multiplayer elements,
Mm.
but it's just so frustrating. The live service element only works for certain titles, and not every game needs to be a
Hmm.
freaking live service, man. I'm tired of
I
live service
swear, if I
titles.
see one more battle pass, if I see
I'm
one
over it.
more battle pass,
Every game in the well, every multiplayer game
Mhm.
has a battle pass,
in some way or
and
another.
we can thank Fortnite for that.
Yeah.
And it's annoying. Like Fortnite, yes, Fortnite is seriously the biggest thing in gaming.
Hmm.
Honestly, in the past, I want to say the past 10 years, Fortnite is one of the biggest things ever.
Yep.
But yet, it's ruining the companies because like, oh, we want to make the next Fortnite,
Yep.
and they will keep on pumping out these live services games until they think one's successful enough.
It's like their
And
goal is to make not a good game, it's to make a cash cow that can rival Fortnite.
yes,
Which is,
yep,
first of all, impossible because they just added more microtransactions for music and Lego builds.
yeah, Fortnite's literally it's not like it's 3 games. It's
Yeah.
literally 3 games now.
It is absurdly massive.
It's just gonna be one of those things where feel like Fortnite's just gonna be a portal that you can enter in, like a
Hmm.
hub, and then you can select multiple different games.
And there's
That's
already,
literally what it's gonna
like,
be.
with the creative game modes, they already have that basically.
Mhm.
Like, half of my friends that are ever playing Fortnite, like on my friends list, are not playing Battle Royale or any of the main game modes. It's
Yeah, they're playing
always,
something that someone else made.
yeah.
Like literally like
Mhm.
Nuketown gun game,
And hear me out
stuff like
though,
that.
I'm down for that. Like,
Like
I kinda. The fact you could play Prop Hunt in Fortnite and I could be Spider Man,
Spider-Man.
that's a win in my book, dude.
It's
Spider Man?
Booterman. I have nothing Spider-Man that can just go grab real fast in here. I mean, I do. Wait, it's kind of far away.
Spider Man?
Booterman? But it's. I'm just. I wish game companies would just get their act together.
Yeah.
I'm over the live service. I'm over
Hmm.
every game now wanting to have a battle pass and try to beat Fortnite. I get it. I respect it. Fortnite's
Hmm.
successful. I get it. You are trying to get some of that audience to come over, but we gotta. There's a line. We have to stop at some point.
Hmm.
We have to because that's literally what the game industry has been. We're gonna pump out these live services, pray one of them sticks, and then if not, we'll
Yeah.
fire the whole entire studio, blame them,
Hmm.
and then we'll move on to the next one and hope that goes well.
If I could give one message to every single viewer watching this, if you see an indie game that you're slightly interested in, or even mildly interested in that you think might be fun, give that a shot instead of the $70 AAA game. Or quadruple A game if you're that one company.
If you're Skull and Bones,
If you're.
quadruple A, God, I hate that. First
It's such a
quadruple A game,
bad
dude.
game!
Stupid, stupid. But no, to what Ewan was saying, seriously,
Mm-hmm.
indie games deserve more of your money than these quadruple A game companies.
Mm-hmm. Like
There's
my
some of
top
the
three
best
favorite
games.
video games, all indie games.
Yeah, some of the best games are indie games
Mm-hmm.
because they actually can put the love into the game. Like Devolver, most of Devolver's games are indie games. And I love Devolver because their
Mm-hmm.
games are just they're dumb fun. It's nothing that I need to spend 60 to 120 hours playing a game to get through the base story.
Mm-hmm.
I can appreciate long games. Well,
Some
I
of the
also
games with the best storytelling or some of the best like just gameplay in general like are only like a few hours long. I think Undertale, one of my personal favorite games, a game that has a large impact on my life. It only you can beat it in like 7 hours. Like,
that's what
and
games used to be, man,
that's
and
what
I miss
that's how
that.
games used to be. And Undertale is like a super simple game, but it does what it's trying to do perfectly because it had that restriction. It was more. It chose to be more stylistic than big.
Yeah,
It tried to be
I
stylistic, not perfect.
I feel like indie games deserve more of a preference. And
Hmm.
please, for the love of God, please, if you see an indie game and you're like, man, you know, I see on Pirate Bay here, I can get the indie game. Do not,
No.
do not be that guy. Please do not pirate indie games.
Stupid. Bad.
Pirate, pirate,
Bad.
pirate the big, like pirate the big N all day long.
Hmm.
They can take it.
The big N.
The big N, the big N, Nintendo, the big N. You know, people say that. I've heard multiple people say that.
Yep.
Target them. Don't
Hmm.
target, these small indie companies who are actually important. I
Hmm.
really feel like I I I feel the next couple of years an indie game could actually be game of the year
Yep. I believe. I believe.
because I feel like everybody in the gaming industry, well, not I feel like the gamers themselves, like the audiences, are kind of over these big experiences that take too long. I'm tired of the Ubisoft effect, for instance, where you know the game takes 200 hours to beat,
Hmm.
just the base game, and if you add everything else, then you're playing 600 hours, and like that's just stupid. I can appreciate getting the best bang for your buck because I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, if I'm paying $70 for a game, I don't want it to last a short amount of time, but I also don't want the game to be the only thing I can play.
Hmm. Yeah. I want to play a game that is both memorable and just fun.
Mm,
It doesn't need to be constant. It doesn't need to be fresh.
yeah, it
Which
doesn't.
I, yeah.
I just want something like if the gameplay is good, you know, the
Hmm.
graphics can be crappy.
Yeah.
I don't care. Like everybody's like, "Oh, obsessed with this 4K." I'm like, dude, how many people do you know have 4K monitors? Like, not many people.
I don't. Yeah. No.
I don't either. I do not
Because they're
like.
like thousands of dollars. Yeah.
Well, not just that. It's like the frame rate. I much rather have
Hmm.
a lower resolution and a higher frame rate.
Yeah.
And I think that's majority of people will agree with that. And now
Yeah.
these companies are trying to pump out 8K, and I'm like, dude, no
Mhm.
one uses 4K anyway.
Yeah. And like
Like
the
we can.
like the new what is it? Unreal Engine 5.
Mhm.
We don't need games to be that realistic yet. I'm a big fan of I just said this, but of more stylistic preferences rather than realistic.
Mhm.
Because that is what makes a game more so art than an experience.
Yeah, there's a difference for sure.
Hmm. And oh,
I
dude, it is beautiful to look at though. You can't lie. For some of the things, I don't
oh yeah,
want to play a
it's
game like that forever because first of all, I probably am not able to, and two, it would take years for a developer to make a game like that and make it good.
oh they can make it like it, and then pump it out oh a week later and be like, hey, guys, this is early access, and then
This
we're
is
gonna
early
wait.
access.
This is early
Can you guys
access.
play us? Can you guys pay us a little bit more so we can make the full game and make it
Yeah,
$50 DLC?
yeah. I hate that model. I know I talked about it earlier.
Hmm.
I just hate that model. That's what we're going at. Hey, pay us to play this beta or multiverses, for instance. Hey, we can literally let you purchase things, do microtransactions for this open beta,
Hmm.
and then 6 months later we're gonna shut it down for a year, and then we're gonna bring it back, guys. Now, are you gonna keep those?
Multiverses.
Are you gonna keep your transactions that you bought? You're gonna keep those microtransactions? Are you gonna get them back? Because I hate to say I bought the Battle Pass once when we were playing it a lot. Like, am I gonna get that crap that I purchased?
Nope.
Probably not.
I mean, maybe. I hope that because well, Multiverses was cross-platform. I just hope that when they shut down the servers, they just didn't delete player data because I don't think they would have.
Mm,
So I assume you would still have everything because that's how that type of game works.
you
Like
would
Fortnite,
assume.
you would assume, but if they didn't and they're like, oh nope, basically complete re-overhaul, everything's different, all the cosmetics are different, and if you spent money, you wasted it. I can only pray
It would
that
be
it does not end up like that.
uproar. Absolute uproar if that happened.
Yep. I
And
just want one thing when Multiverses comes back out on its full release. I just need one thing.
mm,
I need Tom and Jerry to be good.
yeah, they were kind of dog water.
They weren't good. It was like they tried to make it like a puppet character, but they did it poorly.
Multiverses has good structure. It
Mm.
just needs more oomph. And I really hope in the last year they worked on that.
Yeah. Multiverses was fun though. It was one of my favorite
It was.
fighters, platform fighters from that time because we also had Nick All Star Brawl, was it?
Yeah, Nickelodeon All Stars.
Yeah, and we just got the second
And
one too.
yeah, I heard the second one's actually kind of good.
I actually, it's pretty good. Coming
It's
for
pretty
somebody who likes
solid.
fighting games, pretty good.
The first one was a good trial run.
Hmm.
I don't know if they should have made a complete sequel. I really feel like they should have just updated the first game.
The thing about this, I know I've heard a lot of that too, but the second one is they made it into basically they All Star Brawl was known for having all of the Smash Bros stuff in it because it had like wave dashing and shield and like all of these techs that had Smash Bros in it to make it like a competitive fighting game. And All Star Brawl 1, it was really good at that. It was good, but it was very bare bones. Like, it didn't have any flavor, nothing to sink your teeth into. With
Yeah.
number 2, they went all out. The roster is
That's the,
massive. There's ultimate moves,
mm,
and each character has a unique one. Most of the time, they're pretty meh and boring, but so is Smash Bros. So,
it's true.
uh, the stages, there's like a bunch of stages. Actually, I think All Star Brawl 2 is a phenomenal fighting game. They just should have marketed it more.
Yeah, because I feel like the only marketing I've ever seen of it is just YouTubers just talking about it,
Mm. Or just playing
and
it.
we're just playing it, and that's about all I saw of it.
Mm.
Uh, the first one I played a little bit of it. It was cool. I think I might pick up the second one when it goes on sale. I mean, it's been on sale before,
Yeah.
but
You just
it's
didn't
kind
care
of how
too
I am with
much.
games recently.
Mm.
Which, if you remember what the Days Gone developer said, it's your effing fault that our game didn't get a sequel because you didn't pay for a game full price.
Mm-hmm.
Which is sad because that's how the industry is.
Yep. If it doesn't make big bucks, that means nobody wanted it. Or
Yep.
nobody liked it.
Dumb game industry, man.
Oh 07 is so many good games we could have gotten.
Should have gotten too.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see what Phil Spencer wants? Go Xbox
No.
exec. So he has been talking about a lot of handheld PCs recently. So like the Steam Deck, the Lenovo
Mm.
Legion, the ROG Ally, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he wants I don't know if he really wants to make his own, like Xbox to have their own handheld, which would be interesting, or if they do an Xbox launcher for these handhelds. Because that'd be kind of sick.
That would be kind
He
of cool.
Phil Spencer was kind of talking about how he would be interested in the Xbox having different stores on it. So to have like the Epic Games launcher on there, to
Hmm.
have like a separate EA launcher, stuff like that. I think he's I think he's gonna pave the way for a lot of things because I feel
Yeah.
like as more we go on, the less exclusivity we see, and the more open certain companies become. Like
Mm.
for instance, Sony, PlayStation, they have been putting more and more of their titles on PC. It's not day and
Yep.
date. The only day and date game is Helldivers,
Yeah.
but they've been pretty like they're releasing them closer and closer after to the initial
Hmm.
release date. Like
Yeah. I remember when they added
all their
God of War.
studios.
That was like massive,
That was
especially
the
for
first one.
that was the first one. Everyone was like, "Oh my gosh!" And then we got Spider-Man,
Yeah,
and whenever Miles Morales came out, and then that got on PC like a month or so later.
it was almost a year later.
Almost. I know. I didn't play Miles Morales. I wasn't very interested in it, but I remember that was like so soon in my eyes because I just
It was
saw it,
very soon.
and then I'm like, I could just get that right now on PC, and then that was like, and then Ragnarok, hopefully, eventually, I want
I'm
it.
gonna guess next year.
Mm-hmm.
Horizon Forbidden West just got onto PC recently,
Hmm.
and that PC port I heard was great. I heard it's a great PC port.
Yeah, that's one
There-
thing I'm glad Sony is doing good, is porting it well.
Mm, not the case. Horizon's the only one that's actually done well.
Really,
Yeah, the
Spider-Man
most of
was
the
good.
PC Spider-Man was alright at launch.
Hmm.
A lot of the games were bad. Like Ratchet and Clank was an awful port at the start.
That explains it. Yeah, I didn't play that one.
Returnal, I also heard was not great at launch on PC. Last of Us, I heard was god awful
Oh yeah,
at
I
launch.
know that one. That one sucked.
Hmm.
I don't know how they made Last of Us that bad.
Because they're not paying attention to what they're doing.
Hmm.
But now they've acquired companies to actually help out with the PC ports.
Mm.
So I really have a feeling like in the next 5 to 10 years, we are just gonna have launchers like like a PlayStation launcher.
Mm.
Because I think
Dude,
like PlayStation is really testing the waters with PC. So I think they're putting some on Steam. I really have a feeling because we all know companies are greedy that Sony's gonna eventually be like, no, Steam, you can't have our 30%. We're just gonna make our own launcher
yep.
so we can keep all the revenue, which will
Like
be
how Xbox
annoying.
has the Xbox launcher and
Yeah, which it would be annoying because Steam is just so integrated and it's all in one spot.
but think about this, think about this. The crossplay capabilities.
Yeah.
Like a good few Xbox titles are crossplay if you play it on the Xbox launcher. If you have it on the Xbox launcher, not Steam.
Hmm.
Like Dark Tide game or like Dark Tide and Sea of Thieves. Like those are crossplay.
Hmm.
Um
But you
and
have to have the Windows version,
mm,
which is kind of dumb.
yeah. But also it's cross progression with single player games if you have your Xbox account, which is
Yeah,
awesome. That's pretty nice.
it's nice. Like I I hope more companies will be more willing to kind of forego exclusivity.
Hmm.
And because honestly, don't get me wrong, I can appreciate exclusivity. Like I love Nintendo. I love like the exclusive Nintendo games. And but it's just like imagine just imagine if Nintendo was like, you know what, we're gonna put the next Kirby game on all platforms. You know how much more it would sell? Or
Very
I
well.
should think the next Mario Kart
Mm.
all across all platforms.
Dude, if me and the boys could just hop on PC and play Mario Kart,
That would be the don't get me wrong, Mario Kart is one of the best selling games in general.
mhm,
But if you put that multi-platform, you know how big that would be? It'd be
massive.
huge. But
Mm.
Nintendo would never do it because Nintendo is
Huge.
stingy.
Sorry.
Nintendo's just stingy.
Mm.
Like, I love them, but they're stingy old Japanese men that don't understand how things
Yep.
work.
That's how I describe Nintendo, actually. I didn't want to, but you did it for me, so thank you.
I love them, but they're stingy old Japanese men.
Mm.
Now, Sony's slowly getting. Microsoft's been on it for a while.
Yeah.
They've been on it with the
Microsoft.
whole releasing things on PC and Xbox the same day.
Mm.
I think with the success of Helldivers that Sony has seen, I'm really hoping they do more day and date drops.
Yeah. Also, the console wars. They're coming into an end.
I really feel like there hasn't been people really fighting like they used to. The
Yeah.
last time there's been a real fight was the PS3 360 era.
Yep.
That was the last time there was a big like fight between the two. Because
Mm.
mainly the consoles do the same things anymore.
Yep.
They're the exact same machine, just they look different, the
Have
controllers are
some
different,
different games.
and the exclusive games. Beyond that,
Mm.
they do the same thing. Now, one thing I like about my Xbox, I will say, is the oh my gosh, what's it called? It's you can
What?
have multiple games playing at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
Quick resume,
Mm.
quick resume.
Mm.
That's what it's called. I like that a lot. And you can even have your system turned off. Like mine is turned off right now. I could boot it back up, and Star Wars Battlefront will be playing. Dark Tide will still be on there,
That's kind
ready
of
to go
crazy to me.
exactly where I left it at.
Dude, I wished I could do that as a kid. Like on my
It's
Xbox One and
awesome.
stuff.
Like
Mm-hmm.
it's awesome that it has that feature, and I wish PlayStation had that feature, but they don't. But quick resume is a huge benefit. Like now, it's annoying kind of for online games because obviously it's not going to stay in that lobby forever. But quick resume is a good feature that Microsoft has that Sony doesn't. But the
Mm-hmm.
console wars, yeah, the console wars are done, man. There's
Yeah.
and
Microsoft
most
has
people
barely any exclusives anymore. They don't really care
nope.
about that very much. They're just more. They're going into being a game company instead of being a
Yes.
console developer. Because from what I've heard, they're not really working on anything right now.
No. It's kind of funny that they about the whole, Hi-Fi Rush
Mm-hmm.
coming over to PlayStation. Supposed to be Nintendo Platform 2, but I'm gonna guess that's the Switch 2 is gonna come to.
Yeah.
Sea of Thieves coming out for PlayStation.
Apparently, there was a leak about the name of the Switch too.
What's that?
The Switch Attack.
Yeah, I
I
remember
don't believe
hearing
it,
that.
but
I don't believe it either. Dude, the good name would just be the Super Nintendo Switch.
mm.
The
Oh yeah,
Super
bringing it
Nintendo.
back to the Super. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude, just bring it. It's so good. It's
It is a
so good.
great. It's classic Nintendo. Like
Just
it's
Super
classic. It's
Nintendo Switch.
clean.
Or they could just be like Super Switch.
Yep.
Just
Oh,
that's
one
it.
other thing that might have been leaked by Nintendo by accident is that
Hmm.
there was footage of Super Mario World, the Universal place, being
Yeah,
made
yeah, yeah.
somewhere, and in the footage there was the guy who made Zelda, the head producer of Zelda. I don't remember
Okay.
his name, old Japanese man, but he was in
Yeah.
it, and then Nintendo's like, take that down now, as like he was in construction gear and stuff. Like we don't want him in the video, and so everybody was like, Zelda guy,
The Zelda part?
Zelda World, Zelda World.
Zelda? Zelda? Dude, I would lose my mind.
I would, I
I
would, I,
already
I would go there without a doubt.
the my family we're already kind of talking about next year going to Universal to go
Mm.
to the park. But we want to wait until obviously it's in Florida because I don't want to go to California
Yeah, I
because it's
wouldn't want to
way
go to
more expensive
California
over there.
either.
But speaking of things that got leaked, did you see the leaked footage that for the canceled Spider-Man multiplayer game? Can we talk about that for a second?
Hmm.
Because that would have been so cool.
Do you know how
That
many people would want to play as Gwen Stacy? You.
me.
You.
I mean, I
Or
am how
you
many
if it's
people?
my recording.
I I am that many people.
And do you know who would want to play
I
as Miguel?
dude,
The big
people play
buff
as Ben
Miguel.
Riley.
Us.
Us. My
Yeah.
best.
My best.
But did you actually watch the leak
Yeah.
of it? Yeah,
I
it looks
saw it
sick.
yesterday for the first time.
Really?
Yeah.
It looks sick.
Mm. And
It literally would have just been the
why?
it would have literally just been the Spider-Man game just playing with your friends, which is fantastic.
Imagine playing tag while swinging through the city. Like,
Dude, I just man, it would have been so nice. It
dude.
just would have been so nice. I would have been.
And do you know what they chose to do instead?
What's that?
Madame Web.
That was that's a different entity of Sony.
No. Sony was like, no. Put money into movies, not video games. And the movie they
No,
decided to make was Madame Web.
it's it's a different entity.
No.
I don't
I'm
I
blaming
don't think it
Madame Web for all of
corresponds.
my issues, and you cannot
I
stop me.
don't think it corresponds.
No. Madame Web is everything wrong in the world, and I will
I like
blame
how
it for
you're
everything.
pronouncing it.
Madame Web?
Yeah. I like how you're pronouncing it.
Madame? Madame Web. Yeah, no.
Damn.
I refuse to call it by its actual name. That movie was so atrociously bad. It's
I
funny,
still need to watch it.
I didn't think we could go lower than Morbius.
No, we can with Craven.
Yeah, we still need to see Craven. That is true.
Dude, I am taking you to see that movie. We are watching that movie.
You better. I want to
We're
look at
watching
it.
it. I wanted to watch Madam Web with you. Didn't get the chance to. But when it comes to streaming platforms, we're
We. Mm,
we will host when it comes to streaming platforms. We pirate it. We will
of
host a
course.
special Discord stream because we can't stream that.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
We'll do a special Discord live stream of us watching this movie.
Madame Web watch along.
Dude, yes. We would do a special Discord live event just for that. We'll
Dude,
post about it.
that would be my dream.
Dude, no, it'd be so bad.
Dude,
Gosh.
it's so funny. Morbius was so bad. Sony was like, you know what? Let's try again. The bar's already so low.
It can't get any
And then they
lower.
dug up Morbius' corpse and put the bar beneath it.
It's so dumb.
At this time, they didn't even make any money because nobody was like, guys, let's watch Morbius again. Oh, dude.
Morbius. What a time, dude. What a time.
It's Madame in time.
But damn.
Dude, I love that scene in Madame Web where Morbius showed up and said, it's Morbin.
Dude, I wish he would have said it's Morbin time.
It's Morbin
It's
time.
my damn time.
It's Madame time.
My damn time. Name of the episode.
It's Madame time.
My damn time. I don't think YouTube would like that.
Probably not.
So
I mean, you
we'll
can
do it
just spell it Madame, M-A-D-A-M.
yeah, we'll do that. That's the name of the episode. My damn time.
Yep.
Episode 1. My damn time.
At the very end of the episode, that's where you talk about Madame Web.
Yep, at the very end of the episode, because we're coming up towards the end here.
Mm.
But
I really like
think-
Spider-Man.
I know you. Me too.
And I really hate Madame Web.
Dude, I
Madame
love that.
Web.
My damn web.
It's like I
That's
say
the name of the
caramel. I say caramel instead of caramel. I say Madame instead of Madam. For Madame Web.
Madame web. It's beautiful.
Oh, I hate it.
I think that's
I think that's a good
pretty much
place to
everything.
wrap it up.
Let's end the first episode. Good.
We gotta
Almost
go to
an hour and
rant
a half
off.
first episode. Little rant, yeah. Little
Yeah.
rant session we had there. But I think probably having weekly episodes.
Hopefully
I
that's the
don't
plan.
know. Yeah, that's the plan. I don't know if it's going to be the same day we record each week.
Probably not.
Probably not. But we'll give head notice on the Twitter account
Mm-hmm.
which is uh, Simply Geek Pod on X. Um, Go ahead and give it a follow on there. And soon to be Simply Geek Podcast on YouTube. We have not made the YouTube page yet, but we will be making it soon. And soon we'll actually have graphics and stuff like that, I'm sure, because we'll actually put some time into this.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first episode, and we decided we're doing this last week. So just kind of threw it all together, and here
Dude hit
we
me up a
are.
week ago, said, "Hey man, do you want to do a podcast?" I'm like, "Hey man, sure, I'd love to." And then this happened a week later.
Yeah, a week later. So,
Hmm.
gang, gang. I'm never going to say that again.
No, that's how we ended off.
Yeah,
Gang,
just gang,
gang.
gang. No, we're not. All right, guys. We'll catch you. I can't even talk. We'll catch you. We'll catch you next week, guys.
We'll
Appreciate everybody
gotcha.
stopping out.
Stay geeky.
That's the end line. Stay geeky. All right. See you guys later.
See ya.